Hey Aries, and welcome to your January 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And I kind of want to come on here and automatically be like, fear not Aries, things will get better. I feel like sort of a gloominess or a overcast experience coming out of December and into January. Either that or it's like you're feeling king of the world or something. I'm feeling a lot of polarity and a lot of contrast coming in your energy. If you're one of the Aries who is actually feeling pretty wholesome, pretty solid, feeling like there's potential but not like feeling like it's looming overhead or anything like that, congratulations, you're doing really well. Definitely watch your sun, moon, rising sign as well, because I think that a lot of Aries have been really in the throes of feeling like very manic or even depressive. It's, again, feeling very polarized, and as we've come past Saturn and Capricorn, which I should have a video on my channel now before I will, right up in the top right hand corner, it should come up like right now, there it is, of the video screen. Anyway, so Saturn and Capricorn for Aries, you know, it forces a lot to shift into place, it forces a lot to calibrate and a lot to become structured and real. We came out of Saturn and Sagittarius, which actually wasn't a bad experience for Aries. Even if you feel like it was quite a chaotic period of time, it really motivated and generated a lot for you. But now as we move into Saturn and Capricorn, it's like you have to take that burst of energy and really embrace it, structure it, pattern it, make it into a routine which gives you much more than, which makes you give yourself much more than it could have ever given you through structuring this burst of energy which you had over the last about year and a half. If you can give yourself one really amazing thing right here and right now coming into January, Aries, into the new year, into 2018, it's like clarity of your past and clarity of your mind. Aries has been like really struggling, I think, to draw a conclusion, or if you have, like, you draw the conclusion and then you come past it and you're like, well, that conclusion was right, but now that I live here, or now that I have this job that's no longer working, or now that I'm in this relationship that no longer applies, and it's sort of been like shaking you or making you like just feeling weak, or feeling like I sense like your limbs are shaking, or it's like your hands can like shake once you have these realizations, and that could also be like I'm sensing through not having that really stable sense of identity, or not having that really stable sense of like a moral of life. It could just be affecting like the electrical currents in your body. Again, like Uranus is in your sign, Aries. It's been there for a very long time. It's there for quite a while longer, although it's like doing a retrograde and stationary thing right now. And yeah, it sort of can give a lot of sudden urges or sudden impulses. Again, like right when I started channeling into that energy, like my voice all of a sudden started working, my articulation went everywhere, and it was very electrifying. So it could be hard to articulate, it could be hard to say what you want, but this is going to be the beauty of Saturn and Capricorn coming in, Aries, is it's really going to give you clarity, it's really going to give you a structure, it's really going to give you almost what I feel to be like a lifeline, even though at first, in the beginnings, especially for Aries who are born like in the beginning of the Aries cycle, so right around like all the Aries born in March, basically, Saturn and Capricorn will really activate you really strongly right now, and over the next few months, to suddenly make you draw the conclusion, or to suddenly make you realize, or take the chance, but not a chance as in like a risk. It's Saturn and Capricorn is not a very risk supportive type of energy, although it supports changes, and it supports changes which are like a foundation. Nothing that really escapes or pervades what you have right now, but things which give you a foundation to like build above them, and then like build a bridge over them. And by the time that Saturn leaves Capricorn 3 years from now, I know, kind of a long time away, you should definitely feel like a much more solid person. But automatically, for all Aries coming into January, much more clarity of mind, even if it's not really coming out of you, it could just still be within, and it might not be in people around you or in your circumstances. Allow yourself to see how things actually were. Allow yourself to see how you did, how they did, how just how things were. And you can give yourself so much in January just in that aspect, just by the clarity. Like, clarity is such a strong key word for you. And also through like release and acceptance, I want to say too, because through receiving that clarity, you kind of have to accept a lot and potentially release a lot as well. I also feel like expansion, like expansive ideals, and expensive and expansive are two words definitely coming up for you guys this month. So maybe you're like upsizing your life. I sense like taking on nicer houses, nicer things, more efficient things. Like efficiency, big keyword for Aries too. Like how can you become more efficient and still, like, I want to say tighten the belt, because there is sort of a chafing, like tightening feeling with Saturn and Capricorn in Aries. So it's like you can live more cheaply in a better way is an interesting thing. You could see yourself within the next year, like over 2018, living a much more what you might associate with like wealthy lifestyle and actually not spending as much as you have. Saturn in Sagittarius was a weird financial type of thing in the sense that you can spend a lot for difficult circumstances. So definitely take a look at your statements or your financing or anything like that and think, okay, are there actually better options out there which can save me more? Saturn and Capricorn really rewards this type of thing, like optimizing your financial and resourceful aspects of your life. What I'm also feeling like is perhaps feeling bored or feeling undecided in something this month, just because this change of energy is a lot for Aries to suddenly take on. It's not boring, as I feel like when you have this click, when the clarification and clarity in your life clicks, it's not boring, but sometimes, this isn't a very action movie type of thing, in Aries, again, it's Mars, it's the first sign of the zodiac, it's fire, it's primal fire. So sometimes if you're not having a lot of external world activation or a lot of like slow motion fight scenes, it can feel like it's just uneventful. But don't succumb to that, because this is an extremely eventful period of your life, even if it's feeling a bit slower. You have some absolutely incredible major arcana in your reading, just with the devil and the sun. So you have like an antithesis type of situation going on, very empowering energies that, again, feel like they happen within you. It may not be in people around you, and people, in fact, may around you still feel like you're the same person, but you could definitely sort of be having a scenario where you have like changed and people haven't realized it. And through this change, you will definitely confront a lot of the cycles that you have built as a person. The devil is your central theme this month, so it all has to do with the cycles, the constructs which have been built over the last even like 7.5 years of your life. So think back over that period of time and think like, what parts of me that are not constructive to my life have been built? And how can you work with them really quickly here? Because you will, with Saturn coming into Capricorn, be forced to sort of build new ones and sort of detach from the old, outworn cycles and structures of yourself and your being. Also a great month to become more authentic and to become more like a healthy, for everyone, but especially for you, Aries, like Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and Six of Wands reversed are sort of telling me that, there might be some health things which need to be addressed, or system, like more hydration, more healthy lifestyle taken on for sure. But anyway, to go ahead and get into the week to week, in the first week you guys have Knight of Cups, so you're down by the sun. So definitely secrets can be exposed here. Beware of using secrets as power. It feels like you can really be powerful, Aries, by taking other people's hidden aspects of light and like shining the sunlight onto them. But it doesn't really work out for very long, because you can sort of become that person, or you can become that person that everybody avoids because they like know your ways and they know that they can't trust you. Basically, a worst case scenario, I think, for Aries going into January is becoming somebody who's like untrustable, or becoming somebody that people keep at arm's length because they know like your nature could be that way. And Aries sort of enjoys this process of outing things or outing people sometimes in a lower evolved way. And not all Aries, not everyone who's listening, but the process of making things right or of employing justice can be really, really powerful on the Aries-Libra axis, because that is your opposite sign, Libra, the scales, the justice. You can see it very strongly, like right across from you. Like you usually have a very strong gut feeling for justice in situations, and it feels like you will maybe be tempted coming into January to like make things right, or to show people how things are, or to be like the judge of something. So watch out for that. It feels like in one way it could be very empowering, and maybe if it's like a certain type of situation, it could work out for some of you in the first week, but it doesn't really need to go past the first week. For maybe the rest of your life or something, do it in moderation and try to not, it shouldn't be about like you being the judge, it should be about like the outcome being good. So definitely keep an eye on any kind of desire within yourself to be that person, Also, basically, for those of you who are in relationships, you can find out that you've been cheated on, or you can find out that there are some kind of lies. And as I always say, I kind of hate to say that type of thing on my channel just because I don't want to breed fear into people's relationships, but you'll know it going into it. It's not something that just randomly pops up. But you can definitely find proof. It's kind of like a proof finding type of energy. So it's also like careful what you wish for type of energy, or careful what you look for. Like, be prepared to find things. Like, don't go in a scattered way, spontaneously seeking out things which you're not ready to see. You definitely have an expansion in vision, whether that be physical or spiritual, in the first week of January. In the second week, you guys have Ace of Swords. You're down by 10 of Cups. So new ideas about what your wants are, new core feelings coming about, even like feeling emotions that you've never really felt before, or new like pairs of emotions, like maybe not really being able to feel like anger or sadness or anything in like one way, but it's more like integrated with other emotions. And also, like, new possibilities with family definitely open up. 10 of Cups has to do with familial ideals, as well as wants and desires, ancestry, emotional needs coming true. And for that to be connected to Ace of Swords, it's like really beautiful, actually, because it really feels like you're drawing a lot of energy off of these types of ideals. So it does sort of make me think of like Aries who feel very disconnected from their family, or Aries who feel like they don't have a strong connection to family. A lot of you are thinking about that, and a lot of you are thinking, okay, how can I build a family? How can I build a new support network? Support networks are definitely coming up here. Try to build a support network, because I often see with the Devil coming up, especially in the strong way that it does in your reading, there's usually a lack of support network, or there's a lack of people in your life who you feel very connected to. Perhaps a lot of people in your life are feeling like no longer harmonious with who you've become. So definitely open up those universal sensors to like new experiences of new people who are more like your spiritual tribe. And moving into the third week, Page of Pentacles, rooted down by 6 of Wands, reversed. New ideas of how you want to encourage your tangible surroundings, new budgeting, new philosophies towards money, because it does feel like you're not very confident in finance right now, or even if it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with how much you make, but it's more of like feeling like it's enough. There can be an insatiability in Aries, especially with Jupiter and Scorpio, so much Mars and Pluto type of energy, that you can make more than you ever have just to feel that it's more of not enough. Like, the bigger you go, the smaller you feel. Again, whether that be like money or any other type of aspect where there's like a accumulation, you know, where things grow and rise and fall. It's like the bigger you get, the smaller that you feel right now. And that really has to do with the Devil as well. So definitely acknowledge how far you've come. It really feels like it's that easy. 6 of Wands deals with lack of confidence, or not feeling like you are the right for the position, or not feeling, again, like delusions in the sense that, wow, I have all of this and I've gained all of these things, but it's as if I don't actually have anything. Like, try to not make things so complicated, or try to be easier on yourself, because it feels very like illusionary. It doesn't really feel like a real type of thing. Oh, and overall, like, shape new confidence, like maybe a new wardrobe or a new change in your appearance could do very well. I usually say that with 6 of Wands reversed. It's like maybe something is just not really clicking in the way that you're projecting yourself, and that doesn't have to do with how you look, but it has to do with like how you feel about how you look, not about other people, but about yourself. So definitely make some changes. It's not a bad time. Like, there should be a shift in projection for everyone coming out of December, moving into January. So think about how you can creatively do that and enjoy that process as well. In the fourth week, Aries, you guys have Queen of Pentacles rooted down by 4 of Pentacles reversed. Beautiful, amazing earth energy, becoming wholesome finally. I know with Aries, it's been really easy to feel like so scattered. Like, even in your body, it sometimes maybe feels like your limbs are like not even connected to you or something. And I really feel like a strong resurgence of the earth element within you, which has been paramount, I think. Like, I feel like problems with your skin, or problems with just any function of your body, has a lot to do with lack of earth element, or not understanding the utilization of the earth element. And fire signs tend to do this because it burns out earth very easily. So definitely allow the earth element to come in. Be in like the forest, or be by trees. Anything like that, being in the mountains will really make you feel much more wholesome. And sort of clear your mind out while you're there, because when the fire element, especially for you like really fiery Aries out there, when the fire element becomes too overactivated or too overstimulated, it really burns the body out, and it's hard to really actually be healthy. It can be like way too much sleep is needed, and it's hard to stay awake. It's because your mind gets so overstimulated by the fire and the electrical currents that generates. So definitely allow the earth to come in and ground out your electrical currents. And become more healthy. Like, how can you live more authentically? The Queen of Pentacles is all about making things more efficient, more easy, more authentic, more natural, more whole. Nothing that is really like a fad diet is good. Nothing that deals with sudden impulses or sudden desires to be this or that can happen quickly. It's like a slow rise to health, which is hard to take away. And with that being rooted down by Four of Pentacles, perhaps it will actually be good to adapt a more conservative energetic value. Because, with Saturn having been in Sagittarius, I really sense that like all the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sag, really output energy in a destructive way. Even if you were like a really wonderful person, it feels like you didn't have the opportunity to be responsible with energy, or you just sort of realize like, wow, I spent more energy in the last 2 years than I have in my entire life. Allow this fourth week of January, and I feel like moving into February even, by the time we get to about March, it should feel much better, to really just allow things to become more second nature or more intuitive with your surroundings, more intuitive with who you are. Learn about breathing, learn about the way that your body moves, and try to not be too like forced or like fiery, like no more burnouts, like really become stronger in nature with this type of thing. Having the devil as your central theme, it's important to see the cycles and to see how things haven't worked, as well as to sort of imagine yourself, like if you're like praying or something, to cut those shackles, to break free from old, worn out cycles, It's really paramount for you guys, and it's going to be easier than it's ever been before. Don't get discouraged and don't get overwhelmed by this type of thing, because the environment is perfect. Don't rush it either. Saturn is like, again, it's a slow buildup that is really hard to take away from you. So this may not happen instantly, but you're finally forming a version of yourself which can slowly, like I feel like through the earth element and through some of these other concepts, build a much more stable and structured you. So anyway, Aries, I've really enjoyed giving this reading to you here in January. If you would like to get a private reading with me and understand some more of the shadow aspects and how to work through them in your own specific way, you can click the center of your screen now to book that. I would also so appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit that bell button to get updated whenever I post. I have a lot of new amazing content coming out. And your likes and comments mean the world to me. Check out the description box to see some other appropriate links. And I will be talking to you guys in February. Much love. Bye.